When Robert California is interviewing to replace Michael Scott as the boss on The Office, they are asking him, how will your experience selling deep sea drilling equipment translate to selling paper? And what he says is, it doesn't matter what you're selling, every sale is the same, human psychology is the same, no matter who you're dealing with. If you understand how to sell one thing, then you understand how to sell everything. And that's exactly what Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, told his salespeople when he was training them to sell penny stocks to rich people. He was like, hey guys, every single sale is the same. Jordan Belfort doesn't do quaaludes anymore, and he doesn't commit weird financial crimes. But he still teaches people today the very same sales method that he taught to his stockbrokers when he was running Stroud & Oakmont. He calls it the straight line system, and whether you're selling deep sea drilling equipment, whether you're selling paper, whether you're selling pharmaceuticals, whether you're selling pest control, it can work for you. So how does the straight line sales method work? Well, he wrote a book about it called The Way of the Wolf, and I'm going to break it down for you right here. Before anybody buys something from you, 3 things need to be true. They need to like what you're selling, they need to like you, and they need to like the company that you work for. And if any of those 3 are out of whack, then you're not making the sale. Jordan Belfort teaches you to rate those things on a 1 to 10 scale, right? So if somebody's a 1, that means they hate your product, they're never going to buy it. If they're a 10, that means they love your product, they want it, they need it right now. Or if somebody's a 1 on the trusting you scale, that means they think you're slimy, they think you're a con man, they think you're here to, steal shit from their house. Whereas if they're a 10, they think you're Jesus Christ, they think you're going to deliver them to the promised land. You get the picture. And there are 2 different types of certainty you have to worry about. You have to worry about logical certainty, and you have to worry about emotional certainty, right? So they can understand all the nuts and bolts of your product, but if it doesn't emotionally hit them in the heart and something feels off to them, then they're not buying. Sales is about building those 3 10s. So you make them want the product by talking about all the ways that can benefit their life. You make them like you by building rapport with them. You make them like the company you work for by telling them about all your social proof and we're the fastest growing company in the world or whatever. And then you also have to be kind of a detective, because people will give you an objection. They'll be like, I have to talk to my wife before I buy this. And what that really means is that they're not sold on one of the 3 10s. They either don't like the product enough, or they don't like you enough, or they don't like your company enough. So what you have to do is you have to kind of crack the safe, right? When they give you an objection, you have to re-talk up all the product's features, maybe talk about something you haven't mentioned before, maybe cut the price a little bit, and then if they're still giving you objections, then you have to reintroduce yourself. You have to say, I'm Theo, or I'm whatever your name is. This is the company that I work for. This is what we do. We've been doing it a long time. We're really good at it, etc., etc. Jordan Belfort calls his system the straight line system because when you're doing it right, you should be leading prospects down basically the exact same path, like a straight line, right? So first of all, you want to ask them a bunch of qualifying questions so that you can figure out, first of all, whether they're interested in buying, whether you should actually spend your time talking to this person. And then second of all, so you can kind of uncover their pain points, what's driving them crazy, so that you can know what to talk about. Second, you want to tell them, you give them the sales pitch, talk about your product, talk about your company, talk about, build rapport with them. And then third, you want to close them and then get objections and then handle those objections so that you can close the deal. You want to do this basically the exact same way every single time, and the best way to do that is to use a script. Because if you have a script, you never don't know what to say, you never have to ramble like I'm doing now. It makes everything a lot easier, and it frees up your conscious mind to focus on your tonality and your body language and all these other things that are super important. A lot of salespeople hate the idea of using a script because it seems fake, it seems like acting, it seems, you're not having an authentic conversation. And what Jordan Belfort says about this is, if you're in a movie, then you read from a script, right? You read lines, you don't just wing it. If Mel Gibson had wung it in Braveheart, then he wouldn't have been able to deliver the passionate speech that he gave. And it's the same thing in sales, right? You want to present the same information to most people, and so you need to have guideline. You need to have something to read from. The script stops you from veering off into Narnia and talking about things with your prospect that don't matter and don't help you get the sale. For example, one time Jordan Belfort was doing the sales training, and this guy was talking on the phone about duck hunting. And he pulls him, he's like, why are you talking to the client about duck hunting? It's like, well, the client likes duck hunting, so I'm pretending to like duck hunting so that I can build rapport. He's like, no. That's not how you make a sale. You just got to follow the script, talk about the product. Obviously, you want to do what you can to tailor your pitch to the client and answer their questions and address their specific pain points when you can, but you need to have a base to work from so that you're not just winging it, and that's what the script gives you. So you got to have a script and you got to say the right words, but you also have to understand that saying the right words isn't enough. You also have to say them the right way. How do you say the right words the right way? Well, you have to think about a few things. You have to first think about your body language. You have to think about the way you're standing, because you don't want to come across as confrontational. If you stand straight, face to face with somebody like this, and you get up in their face, then they're going to be afraid of you, they're going to feel uncomfortable, and they're going to want to get away from you, even if they really want what you're selling. You also have to use the right tone of voice. Your tone of voice is a super important part of how you communicate, and if you ignore it, then you're just kind of leaving it to chance. So pay attention to the difference between I'm saying it this way and I'm saying it this way. Right, that's the difference that tonality makes. You also have to be in the right emotional state to talk to somebody, right? You want to project confidence, and the way you project confidence is you feel confident. You want to project that you're not scared, and the way you project that is by not being scared. You want to project trustworthiness, and the way you project that is by being trustworthy, etc., etc. So how do you get yourself in the right state of mind? Well, what Jordan Belfort recommends, this is a method he came up with, is you carry around a boom boom stick in your pocket, which is just like this stick that you smell. It's a very intense aroma. And whenever you feel really, really awesome, whenever you feel how you want to feel when you're selling something, you take out the boom boom stick and you smell the boom boom stick, and then that tells your body, like, okay, when I smell this, that means I feel this way. It pairs the two things together, sort of like Pavlov's dogs. And then anytime you need to get in the right state of mind to sell something, you just take out the boom boom stick, smell it, and then you're good to go. The cool thing about the straight line system is that you don't have to be that good to follow it, right? Like Jordan Belfort talks about how you can be an idiot, and if you just get like a little bit good at this, then you can make a lot of money selling stuff, right? Like some of Jordan Belfort's salespeople, they were total idiots, but they made $1 million a year in commissions because they learned the straight line method and they followed the straight line method. If you learn the straight line method, then you can do it too. So thanks for checking out Theo's Book Club. If you're new around here, my name's Theo. I make brief videos like this one going over the big ideas in the books that I read so that you can learn what I learned, and so you can decide, do I want to read this book for myself? If you like this video, I hope you'll hit the thumbs up button right down there. That tells YouTube, hey, this is a good video, I really liked it, so you should show it to more people. You can also hit the subscribe button if you want more book review videos to pop up in your feed. If you want to watch another video I did about a book about sales, you should check out my video on Og Mandino's The Greatest Salesman in the World. It's a book about your sales mindset, how you should think as a salesperson, which is really important because the way you think affects the way you communicate, which affects the way your prospect thinks, which affects whether or not they buy. Super important, so check this video out. And until next time, work the system and have a great day.